Hello and welcome to the morning edition to Fox 5 Morning News. Today we'll be talking about energy resources, what they are, how we use them, what the pros of them, and what the real cons of them are. Now we're here with Alexander Wexler to tell us what we should know. Alexander?
Thank you, Will. Right now I am at a window in my house admiring the beautiful landscape behind me. Now let's start with energy sources. There are two kinds of energy sources: renewable and non-renewable sources of energy. A renewable energy source is a way to get energy, such as electricity or heat, from renewable resources such as moving water or the sun. A non-renewable energy source is the same thing as a renewable energy source, except for one thing. The energy it gets comes from non-renewable things, such as coal or oil. Renewable and non-renewable resources serve the exact same purpose, though: to get energy that we use in our daily lives.
Alexander, what are some of those renewable and non-renewable resources that you're telling us about?
Well, Will, some examples of renewable energy sources are hydroelectric power, which makes electricity with moving water; solar energy, which is energy from the sun that could be used to heat homes; and wind energy, which is energy made from moving air. These are three examples of renewable energy sources. Some examples of non-renewable energy sources are nuclear energy, which produces energy from splitting up atoms; coal, which is rock that is known for making electricity and heat; and there is natural gas, which powers cars. One more non-renewable energy source is oil, which makes heat. Oil, coal, and natural gas are all substances called fossil fuels. These are four non-renewable and renewable sources of energy.
If resources are renewable, does that mean that there's no problems?
But even if they are renewable, meaning you can replenish it whenever you want, does not mean it's perfect. Here are some important negative effects on the environment if you are using renewable energy sources. One negative effect on the environment is when we build dams to get hydroelectric power. The dams sometimes disturb wildlife near the dam and can even alter the natural flow of the river. A second reason that renewable sources is that a lot of this, for example, getting solar panels on your roof, costs a lot of money. Meaning not a lot of people can even get solar energy to power their home. So it's pointless to make it if no one can get it. One last reason that renewable energy sources can harm the environment is what we do to get geothermal energy. This heat, in the process of being taken out of the earth, heats up the rock and groundwater it touches. Well, did you know that in the water, if the temperature changes even 1 degree, some organisms could die? So if you're heating up water and rocks, maybe with animals under them, we could be killing a lot of organisms without even people knowing it.
Oh no, so you're telling me these problems will last forever?
No, Will, these problems can be fixed pretty easily, actually. Some ways people like you and I can help solve these environmental problems we're causing is by A, making a dam in a lake where no fish live, and to you, making a little dam with sticks might be fun, but you can see the water moving faster on one side than the other. That's you changing the natural flow of the stream you're at. That could be harmful to organisms too. B, another solution could be to help make solar panels so they end up costing much less than they do now. Hey people, just lower the price on it. All you're doing is helping the environment. And C, last thing you can do is check under rocks or in a pond before heating it up or doing something to it for organisms. You don't even have to be making energy. Just do it. Non-renewable sources are much worse though. I'm telling you. I'm only going to name 3 negative effects non-renewable sources have on the environment, but trust me, there are a lot more. One negative effect is that when you're making nuclear energy, you are keeping confined deadly radiation by splitting atoms. If that radiation is accidentally released into the air, which has been done before, it could kill thousands upon thousands of organisms, including ourselves. Another negative effect these non-renewable sources do to the environment is that if you are burning coal or any fossil fuel, it releases carbon dioxide into the air. This is the reason we have global warming on Earth. This is affecting the weather and a good amount of organisms on Earth, especially organisms that live in the poles. One last reason that non-renewable sources are bad is that if you are collecting oil to later burn up for energy, you might have an oil spill. An oil spill is just what it sounds like. You spill your oil. This happens more than it does now than it did back then because we are collecting more oil. If this oil gets into a bay or an ocean or gulf, it could kill all the organisms that live there, or a lot of them. It would be like if all the trees in the world were collecting carbon dioxide for them to breathe in, but all at once spilled it on us. We can't breathe in carbon dioxide, so we'd die. Same with fish and oil. These are 3 reasons why non-renewable resources can harm the environment.
What can we do to solve these problems, Alexander?
Some ways people like us can help solve these problems is A, not burn as many fossil fuels by unplugging plugs from outlets so you're not using them. And kids, I know this sounds awful, but not watching as much TV or playing video games saves electricity, so don't do it. B, do not use oil or if you see oil near the water, stop it from going in. And C, one last thing you can do is to just not use or play with any nuclear stuff because it could be very dangerous. Did you know humans use a lot of non-renewable resources such as fossil fuels and waste them to make energy?
And what specifically can kids do?
Here are some ways kids like me, 6th graders, can help reduce the number of fossil fuels burned each day. Those some ways are to turn off the lights when you are not using them, or just use the sun's light to save energy. When it is hot out or not even, you can turn down the heat a little and use the outdoor heat, or just put on a sweatshirt if it is cold. One more way kids can reduce the burning of fossil fuels each day is you can build a clothesline with a long piece of string and 2 trees and dry your clothes there on a hot day instead of using electricity by just turning on your dryer. For instance, in Montgomery County, people burn a lot of fossil fuels for electricity. In building schools, homes, and lots of appliances and stuff. Montgomery County's main resource for electricity in homes is coal, which is a fossil fuel. But we are good with electricity in some places. For instance, in Sandy Springs ropes course I go to sometimes, they have more than 200 or so solar panels. The workers say it powers all the schools and homes in the area, and they have power like a regular person using fossil fuels does. So let's hope we can in the future get more of those types of buildings and fields up so we can live in a better environment. Thank you. Now back to Will.
Nice job, Alex. And now for the weather today.